What's up, guys? Welcome back to another David Rams live stream. Hope you're all doing good. Who have we got here today? We've got Mark's in the room. What's up, Mark? How's it going? We've got Mag. Oh, Mag's actually going to miss it today, but hopefully he can pop in later. We've got Stacy. Hello. Obviously Annie's here. Michael Askew's here. What's up? Mehmet, what's up, man? How is everyone doing? So today, well, today we're having... Okay, guys, I got to be honest with you. We're supposed to be having a debate, and it's going to be this Sadhguru follower that sent me this email, this wonderful email that you've seen there in the thumbnail. He was supposed to be here about 15 minutes ago to test the video and audio, but he isn't here. And I waited a bit longer to see if he'd come late. Didn't come late. So he emailed me this morning to confirm that he would come on at this time, and he's now not responding to my email, and he's not here. So, yeah, there's a couple of reasons for this, obviously, that this guy's not here. There's a couple of reasons that this might be the case. It could be that he messed up the time zones. It could be that something came up on his side, an emergency. I mean, that's totally possible. It could be something out of his control. But let me tell you something. If it's something that's in his control, like, for example, he messed up the time zones and something like that, it doesn't really bode well for him, considering his email to me about, you know, how something about me not being the most intellectual or something like that. Is that a good start for him, huh? So that's funny. If it's that he ran away, well, that would just be, I mean, that would just be the complete expected behavior of Sadhguru followers, because guys, this is what's happened to me. Like, I've been wanting to do a debate like this, or whatever, a discussion. We just throw ideas at each other and take them criticize my criticism, stuff like that. I've wanted to do that about Sadhguru since I started making videos about him, which was actually back in 2020, my first video about him. I've not made that many. It's been like 3 years I've been making videos, consistently, and I've made a couple that blew up about him. And every time someone agrees to come on, they disappear after we try to arrange it. It's happened so many times now. I've never had someone fully follow through and come on and actually have this discussion. It just won't happen. There was even at one point a girl who was like a big Sadhguru follower and a YouTuber. So she was actually a big YouTuber. She still is a big YouTuber, and even she wouldn't come on. And she's comfortable on camera, has a big following, had a great opportunity to stand up for Sadhguru to all of her following. I said it could be on her channel or my channel. I don't care. Like, well, let's do this. Even she wouldn't do it. It's crazy that the man himself, Sadhguru, whenever he's pressured by people who actually know how to push him, he falls to pieces. Like when he went on Joe Rogan. If you guys haven't seen that, it's hilarious. Joe Rogan, love him or hate him, he asks the questions that are uncomfortable. He's not like mainstream media. He doesn't have an agenda. He just tries to ask you and dig into your shit. And he's not scared to ask you things that will make you look silly, right? That's something, you love or hate him, that's what he does pretty well. When Sadhguru went on to Joe Rogan, that was the first time, I believe, where Sadhguru had been asked questions that put him in a very uncomfortable position. And you'll see he just dodges the questions constantly. He's dodge. He's very uncomfortable. He even kind of looks uncomfortable at times, because it's clear that he's never been put in a public position where the people who are asking him questions actually are critical of him, like really critical of him, or are willing to ask uncomfortable questions and push him for evidence and stuff. And that was a great example. So even the man himself doesn't like it. So it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that his followers also don't like it. They don't like being, having public interactions with people who don't love the spiritual daddy. Spirit Daddy, I think that's what I've nicknamed him, Spirit Daddy. So, yeah, here we are, guys. So I think for what we'll do, guys, is we'll give this guy another, 20 minutes to turn up. And if he doesn't, then we will stop this stream. This stream will go away somewhere, and we will do a separate stream. So you stick around, we'll launch another stream. And that stream will be about Humane Hancock's recent video about Cosmic Skeptic, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen. It just came out yesterday. And I want to talk a bit about it, because there's some things I don't agree with, and I want to give my opinions on that. So that'll be That will be what we'll do if this guy doesn't turn up in the next 20 minutes. In the meantime, I suppose what we could do is take a look at some of the videos that this guy is not happy with from me. I suppose, because I mean, my videos, that's what this guy's got a problem with, the one that's supposed to come here and debate. It's my videos about Sadhguru. So we can take a look at, like, I don't know, what we think he possibly would have a problem with. I mean, we looked at some recently, so I'll pick one that we didn't. I'll pick one that's a bit of one we haven't reacted to recently. So I'll pick, actually, arguably the worst thing Sadhguru's ever done is this one. Actually, let's take a look at it. So just load this up. Here we go. So it was this video, 40,000 views now. Sadhguru gets destroyed in Jallikattu debate. So this is one of the things about him that really was like surprisingly bad about Sadhguru. I'd be very curious to see if this guy would somehow try to defend this. But hey, I'll show you this video. This is pretty wild. If you don't know anything about this is going to blow your mind. So remember, this is a globally renowned spiritual guru in this interview, right? This is what Sadhguru is, if you didn't know. Millions of followers, globally renowned spiritual guru. We're going to respond to a live interview that Sadhguru did with an Indian news station on the topic of Jallikattu. Now, dude, you're not doing Sadhguru again, are you? Yeah, man, I am. He's talking nonsense
I forgot about this bit.
And encouraging people to abuse animals. Why don't you respond to other people who say nonsense and abusive stuff about animals? Dude, I have done that. I've done videos about Eckhart Tolle. I've done videos about Zakir Naik. I've done videos about farmers, Sam Harris. All right, but you know you're going to upset like a lot of people by doing another video on Sadhguru, right? Yeah, I know, but they shouldn't get upset with me. They should get upset about the nasty shit that Sadhguru was saying about animals, and then they should go vegan to help those animals. Well, all right, I guess you can make another video about Sadhguru, but just this one more, all right? Well, I mean, I can't promise. Maybe there's something else I need to make a video about. Ah, come on, man. Don't be a loser. Oh, right. Yeah, the cool guy in the Metallica t-shirt thinks I'm a loser. Do you even know any Metallica songs? Yeah.
That's so funny, because like I'm wearing a Metallica themed t-shirt now. I totally forgot about this whole skit.
I know Enter Sandman. Yeah, of course, Enter Sandman. But do you know any others apart from that? Hey, fuck you, man. Anyway, what t-shirt are you wearing? Oh, this says Nama Stop Hurting Animals. It's a t-shirt that I made to call out spiritual hypocrites like Sadhguru who say we should be loving and compassionate to all, but then they go ahead and harm animals when they don't have to. Yeah, well, whatever, man. How about you get the hell out of here? When it's posted, you can just go on there and you can hit that dislike button. You can move on with your day. How about that? When I watch your video, I will hit the dislike button. Fuck you. Fuck you too, bro. So Jallikattu is basically Indian bullfighting. The aim is to grab the bull and hold on for as long as possible. So it's kind of also like a rodeo.
It's pretty sick, isn't it, when you look at those images? And these images are going to get a little bit worse, guys, just an FYI. It makes it even crazier that what Sadhguru says about this.
Lovely. So let's see what the all-loving, all-compassionate, almighty leader of spirituality and just all-around amazing person, Sadhguru, has to say about this disgusting sport.
We need to understand, first of all, in the very beginning you said a bullfight. This is not a bullfight. This is a celebratory kind of atmosphere. This is a festival. This is the only festival dedicated to the animals.
A celebratory festival dedicated to the animals? Really, Sadhguru? Does this look like a celebratory festival dedicated to the animals to you?
Isn't it insane that he would say that? It's a celebratory festival dedicated to the animals. Look at the state of that. Just look at what's going on there. That is absolutely insane that he would even say, he would think he could get away with saying that. And you know the worst thing is, people, they lap this shit up. They hang on his every word. They really believe him when he says stuff, and he says this. Mental.
There is no bullfight here. This is not Spain. This is not Sevilla, where bulls are killed in on an afternoon.
You're right. This isn't Spain. It's India. And Peter, India has proven that these bulls are being injured and killed in Jallikattu. Since Tamil Nadu state government made it legal, at least 22 bulls and 57 humans have reportedly died in Jallikattu events organized in that state. And that's only the reported numbers.
From the evidence that was produced before the Supreme Court, and there was video evidence of this, the actual practice is far from what has been prescribed. You've got animals who are agitated, made to stand for long hours, and if I'll just quote from what the Supreme Court had said. They are made to move from side to side. They have got chili rubbed into their eyes, their anus, poked with sharp objects.
Once again, we see Sadhguru laughing at violence and abuse towards animals because he doesn't give a shit about animals.
Isn't it sick that he giggled at that? Isn't that wild? Like, just think about it. Again, this guy, this spiritual leader, someone like millions of people look up to, sat there and giggled when she said that animals were having chili rubbed in their eyes and anus, were being stabbed with sticks and beaten, and he finds it funny. He's sat giggling to himself. What a total freak this guy is.
He's done it in other videos, as you can see here.
Now people say, I love my food. You love animals, so you put them in the food. Even I've seen people talking to the chicken and all very nicely, and next week they'll eat them up.
But
I
remember,
still don't get that. And a lot of people responded in the comments to that saying he's not laughing at the violence, he's laughing at the people being hypocrites. And it's like, right, okay, so we're allowed to laugh at people being hypocrites in violent ways, are we? So, for example, oh, this person here, he says he loves children, but he slits children's throats. No, I don't think it's funny, is it? Not very funny, is it? So why is it funny when it comes to animals? Well, it's because he doesn't give a fuck. It's because he's sick, because he's fucking sadistic. And he might put up this whole front of all this, like, oh yeah, you know, I'm all at one, energies, animals, shit like that. But he used to be a chicken farmer, so it adds up that he doesn't really give a shit, you know. And I think he does kind of put the act on that he cares because of his Hindu following and because they claim to care too. It must be something like that because, like I said, guy was a chicken farmer. I truly don't truly believe with the way he's talking here and the way he's spoken in the past that he truly has some kind of compassion for animals.
remember, Sadhguru was an enlightened god. If he laughs at violence, it's all part of his greater plan. Right?
All of this is done. So an animal which is supposed to be revered is actually being tortured. How can the practice be condoned then?
There is always abuse in every aspect of life.
What kind of response is this to someone telling you about abuse that is ongoing in your country?
There is always abuse in every aspect of life.
Do you think Sadhguru would respond like this if a feminist was explaining the rape problem in India and how it is a huge issue?
There is always abuse in every aspect of life.
He doesn't give a shit about the animals. He pretends he does because he wants support from people like you. Good people who care about animals, who care about others. But he doesn't want to pretend too much because then he'll lose the support of the people who want to do the sport Jallikattu.
So it's a delicate balance. That's what I was trying to get at there, and that he has to walk the line between saying, oh yeah, we love and care for animals because it makes him seem enlightened and spiritual. But if he crosses over too far, then he goes into animal rights territory and vegan territory. And oh no, because then the Jallikattu people won't like him. And he'll be anti-Indian then if he does that. So that's why he has to walk this line and say stupid shit like, there's always abuse. There's abuse in every aspect of life in response to people showing him animal abuse, because he can't cross over into animal rights vegan world for the sake of his reputation, because ultimately, I mean, the dude wears flashy watches, drives around on flashy motorbikes. He's all about that dollar. He's all about that money. So he really wants to maintain his position of power. And it's also, that's another point. It's not just money. It is power as well. He's very powerful. He influences politics. He influences how people vote. He influences how people spend their money, how they live their lives. He's got a monstrous amount of power and money from what he's doing, and he doesn't want to lose any of it.
Because they don't care about animals. This is all just a big game of publicity for Sadhguru.
You can't take away an entire culture which dates back to nearly 5,000 years in Tamil culture.
Yes, yes you can. Slavery is a part of ancient human culture. Humans have been enslaving each other since records began. The male dominance of women is a part of ancient human culture, with men dominating women over thousands of years. But most people don't agree with these ancient cultural norms now in 2021. We, the people living in 2021, shouldn't be basing our decisions, our ethical decisions, our lifestyle decisions on what people did thousands of years ago.
You'd think that would be pretty simple, right? And pretty a message that someone, some enlightened guru would be telling people that we need to evolve, we need to become better, we can go to that next level, and we can be morally better people, better for each other, better for animals, better for everything. But instead,
he's riding on ancient tradition and saying, well, you know, we did it thousands of years ago, so we could keep doing it. It's like anti-intellectualism. It's so dumb. It's so incredibly dumb to try to use that. It's like when people refer to the Bible or refer to any ancient scriptures and try to do things today that cause abuse or cause harm to others based on that. Why would you do that? There's lots of things that are thousands of years old. Not just the Bible, not just the other holy books. There are also books written by people from thousands of years ago. Why don't we use their books? Why don't you use a book written by Marcus Aurelius or anyone, any author from ancient Greece or any author from, like, you know, ancient Rome or anywhere else, you know? Why not use their books? Why not look for some Mayan text or something? Why stop at the Bible, right? Or you know, why does that book get all the attention? Why not other scriptures? Why not other texts? Well, you know what I mean? It's you can read them and find them interesting and look for inspiration for, I don't know, how did people live back then? Was there any cool ideas that I think would be good now? But then to use those ancient scriptures as an excuse to hurt animals or people is ridiculous, isn't it? It's so nonsensical.
This is about also preserving the genetic pool, because through the Jallikattu, only the winning bulls were used for breeding in the past, and even today it is being done like this.
So forcing animals into a cruel and unnecessary sport is actually necessary to determine which of them have the best genetics for breeding? What kind of sick
so messed
fuck
up, isn't it?
supports something as disgusting as this? It's literally animal slavery.
Winning.
It's like, I had an extra bit there. I said something about how it's like in the movies, there's some scenes where they make the slaves fight, right, to see which ones have the best genetics or something. The ones, because they're going to breed the slaves for more fighting slaves, so they got to see which ones are the most ferocious and the most vicious, and also like the strongest, like physically. And it's that's what they're doing here. And when you put that in a human context, like I just did, that's absolutely horrific. That is disgusting, isn't it? To the thought of that. But then he's like, oh yeah, we do it to animals. This is how we find out which is the best genetic. Well, I mean, put that into a human context like I just did, and you automatically see why that is all levels, all kinds of fucked up. The way he's talking, he's talking like a farmer. He's talking like some kind of animal farmer, or some kind of somebody who does this, like a scientist that does horrible shit to animals to find out which are the best or something. He's not speaking like any kind of enlightened spiritual person who cares about life, is he? At all. Thank you, Gorik, for the tip. It says, Sadhguru is a World Economic Forum puppet, so I'm not holding my breath to see ethical integrity in any way, shape, or form in his messages or individual behavior. His intentions are sinister, no doubt about it. Yeah, that's something I did allude to in another video, where basically at the end of the video, a different one, he starts talking about how people keep wanting more and they want to better themselves, and what they're best doing is not doing that and just being happy with what they have. And that, to me, if you don't know what the WEF is, basically that's the messaging they put out, the World Economic Forum. That's what they say. They say things like, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. They're saying things like you're trying to encourage people to eat bugs as an alternate protein source, while the richest people in the world continue to eat whatever they want. They're trying to tell, you know, there's all these lessons and all these. It kind of links in with the environmental movement, where these famous rich people who fly around on private jets telling you that you need to stay at home. You know, it's kind of like he gave me those vibes when he said that. Now, don't try for more, guys. Don't try to become more affluent. Don't try to get more money and try to get your family in a better house and, you know, get something, I don't know, treat yourself to something luxurious that you've worked hard for. Don't do any of that, guys. Just stay where you are and just try and be happy with what you have, and don't try to go for anything else. You know, don't ever aspire. That's kind of the message he was putting out in one of his videos. So, Gorik, I do agree with you. And it does seem that he is in the pocket of that organization, pushing that same kind of nonsense.
Bulls were used for breeding in the past, and even today it is being done like this. Now you ban Jallikattu, they're all queued up. In thousands, they're queued up for slaughter.
If we don't make our animals slaves and abuse them, they'll just be slaughtered. He makes this exact same argument when he's trying to defend the dairy industry.
This is his favorite argument.
Cows are getting tortured just to get the milk from them, and it's about their reproductive system, and we are dependent on the milk which should be given to her children.
So, it's better to slaughter them, not torture them, right?
What? He tries to make it out like there are only these two options when, of course, there is the third option. Stop breeding these animals into existence and stop abusing their bodies.
It's so funny how that's his go-to argument. Whenever anyone criticizes anything to do with animals and him being, defending it, the dairy industry, do you want people to kill them instead? Oh, Jallikattu, well, do you want people to kill them instead? It's like, no, dude, how about, as I've just said, how about you don't breed them, take their babies away and take their milk away, and then kick them out on the streets when you're done with them, which is what they do in India, by the way, and leave them to get injured by cars and trains. And then, check this out, guys. When a cow gets injured by a car or a train, which happens a lot in India because there's so many cows kicked out on the streets by dairy farmers, when that happens, guess what? They go to a cow hospital. Guess what happens in the cow hospital? Well, these cows can be on their last legs, literally unable, not even on their legs. They're on the floor. They can't walk. They can't stand up. They've got some kind of crippling injury, normally something wrong with their back or something wrong with one of their legs, and they can't stand on three legs really because they're massive and heavy, like horses kind of thing, right? So what do? They lie there, right? What do the people do? Well, you'd think, well, they need to euthanize the cow, right? If the cow can't recover, they're lying there suffering, they need to be euthanized. Guess what? They're not legally allowed to euthanize the cows. Do you want me to repeat that? They're not legally allowed to euthanize cows in some states in India. So then what happens? They lie there, slowly dying until one day they die, and then they die. That's it. It can take days and weeks. It can take months. They just lie there, and the people feed them and give them water, and they'll just die, right? So that's the dairy industry in the parts of India where they don't kill cows, right? Where they can't. And then some farmers, though, they'll sell them off to states that do kill cows. Or if they're closer to a border, they'll send them across the border to be killed. But even if that doesn't happen, if they're not being killed, then that's what they'll do instead. They'll kick them out on the street and then they'll get injured. Crazy, isn't it? So that's what he's defending. Oh, but yeah, if instead of doing that, instead of breeding, if we don't do that, all of that I've just said, that's what it is. Then, we'll have to slaughter them. No, just don't breed them. And then for Jallikattu, the same thing. Stop treating animals like they're some kind of slave entertainment for the people. Like they're just slaves that we make fight and make mess around, and we try to find out which one has the best genetics for the future of cows. Like, no, just stop breeding them. That's the other option. You stop breeding them to then do this shit to them. It's crazy. You don't need to just kill them.
Rubbing chili, poking this and that, this unfortunately people have done. We have to contain that.
But Sadhguru, evidence has shown, evidence on record has shown that this practice could not be contained. And it's not the odd bad apple that we are talking about. According to the statistics presented, you've had scores of human beings being killed. So it's not just a violation of animal rights, but also human rights. Several more being injured, and practically every year you've got hundreds of animals who are left bloodied, if not dead.
See, we had over 120 varieties of local breeds of cattle in this country. Today, only 37 are left.
Hold up. Sorry, guys. I'll respond to this one point, then I'm going to address something.
Takes the person's question, realizes he can't answer the question without making himself look bad, so he distracts them by talking about something else in the hopes that they won't repeat the question and he can just get away with not answering the question. He's choosing to ignore the facts that are put forward to him about these animals being bloodied, injured, and sometimes dead. Really inspiring, Sadhguru.
Yeah, he constantly dodges. He won't address the cruelty, he won't address the torture because he knows that puts him in a position where he's got to be the animal rights guy and he'll lose all of his support. I just spotted a comment, guys. I just wanted to check. I wanted to just respond to because I keep seeing this. It's here. It says, no, WF did not say that. That was a Danish journalist. You're echoing conspiracy theories that are nonsense. Okay. So that's something I hear a lot. Whenever I mention the WEF, World Economic Forum, and people get upset and start telling me I'm a conspiracy theorist. So here's the tweet by the World Economic Forum, guys. Let me just show you that. Whoops, hold up. Let me just load that up for you so you can see the whole thing. Just to show that, no, I'm not making this stuff up. This is how it is. So here you go. This is from the official WEF, 4.3 million followers, with the photo of the person who said it. Welcome to 2030. I own nothing, have no privacy, and life has never been better. So that's 2016. That's the World Economic Forum.
It's more or less what I said. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not nonsense. Yes, a Danish, not journalist, but a Danish member of parliament said it, and the WEF retweeted it, turned it into a meme. So yes, they do support what I've said. They do want you to own nothing. They do want you to have no privacy. And they think that you're going to be a lot happier that way. Okay, so that's dealt with now. So it's not a conspiracy theory. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. This is out there, all plain to see. You can go look it up yourself. This is not a spam or meme page. This is the official World Economic Forum Twitter with 4.3 million followers. Okay, so knock that stuff off. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's reality. And Sadhguru is a member of that as well. So that's what Gorik was mentioning earlier. He pushes the same nonsense.
Bulls are of great value. Now we are sending them straight to the slaughterhouse. I don't see people who are slaughtering animals and eating them up, how they can talk about being humane to animals when people are just playing with them.
He refers to Jallikattu as playing with the animals. So that puts an image in your head of like a childlike thing. He wants to make Jallikattu seem innocent and cute, so that when he compares it to slaughter, it seems absolutely ridiculous that anyone would make that comparison. How could you ever compare those two things, really? The reality is, as the interviewer has already told him multiple times, animals are abused, tortured, and killed in Jallikattu. It is not play whether they're being slaughtered or put into Jallikattu. These animals are being abused and killed. It's crazy that he tries to divert the interviewer over to, well, these people are killing animals. It's like, yeah, but you're not playing with them, as I said, you're torturing them. It's crazy that he's such a dodger. Main critics of Jallikattu are also critics of animal slaughter. He's trying to make it out that the people who are against Jallikattu are paying for animal slaughter when that is just not true. He's lying and manipulating to make himself look better. It's really no surprise that this guy has millions of followers. He really is a master of manipulation. Yeah, that's one thing I'll give Sadhguru. Of all the things I'll give him, that's definitely the one, is that he is a master manipulator. He's an incredible communicator, incredibly effective communicator. So that is definitely what he is good at. And you see it here. I mean, he dodges the abuse itself because he doesn't want to give his opinion on the abuse because he knows that puts him in the position that people will go against him, right? So that's what happens. And instead, so then he tries to dodge and he tries to put it on another group. Oh, well, these people they're protesting for the wrong thing, and you should be looking at this. No. Like, deal with the abuse. Well, they're just playing with the animals. Okay, but there's evidence that that's not true. So you're just lying. But they won't say that to him. I wish people would just tell him, you're lying and you're dodging the question. Deal with this. This has happened. There's evidence. Now, will you actually face up to it?
So Sadhguru, let me just turn that around, what you said, and turn that question around to say that the option given to this animal is either he be tortured or be sent to the slaughterhouse. So if you really want to preserve a breed, doesn't it seem a little hypocritical that this is the only choice available to the animal?
That's fine, Padmaja, but the reality of the country is we cannot preserve something unless it has some economic value or some social value.
He says that the animals only have value if humans give them value. This is just disgusting. He sounds like one of these slave masters of the past who said, well, the slave only has value if they're good for me. Or the men in the past who said the women only have value if they're good for me. Now he's saying the animals only have value if they're good for me. He's exactly the same as those people, except the victim is different. Yeah, it is. The language is used there. It's well, if they don't have value, why should I do anything? Why should I care about them? Why should we care about them if they don't have value? And it's that kind of the idea that this is where animal rights come in, because whether an animal is abused or not abused should not be down to whether somebody values them or not. It should be down to they are a sentient being, therefore they have a right to not be abused. They have a right to not be treated that way, like we have human rights for the same reason. Doesn't matter if I think, it doesn't matter if someone's a racist, right, or not. If they hurt someone else, it's going against their human rights, and then they'll get put in prison for it. They'll be punished for it, right? Something will happen to them. There'll be consequences. So that's where animal rights comes in. It doesn't matter if you think a cow has value or not. It doesn't matter if, well, they don't make me money, so I'll kill them. No. There needs to be a law that says you can't kill that cow, because that cow is a sentient being. Now that the laws and the rights are not going to be exactly the same as people for obvious reasons. We have rights to do lots of things that would be meaningless to a cow, but the right to not have your head cut off for a sandwich, I think that's a pretty fundamental right that animals should be afforded, right? I mean, it's pretty simple stuff. Animals have value regardless of how humans see them. And he, as a responsible guru and apparently compassionate guru, should be teaching people this, not arguing for them to be abused. This is it. And this is, again, I'm going to repeat this a couple times because I'm now rewatching it and realizing this real reason here is he doesn't want to go into that and say what I'm saying is, again, because if he does that, he joins Peter. And in India, the people that support him think that Peter is some kind of Western conspiracy, and he is actually, again, he thinks there's Western conspiracy. Sadhguru often talks about how, oh, this group here, it's a Western thing, and they're trying to take India, and there's this Western conspiracy trying to come into our India. He does say that stuff quite a lot, so he gets a lot of these followers, and they would be upset about the idea of him kind of joining with the West on animal rights stuff. They would be very upset about that, those people. He'd lose a lot of money and support for sure. So yeah, that's how it would go down. Wait, where's my Sadhguru screen? There it is.
The rural youth, what are they supposed to do? Till you provide them with football stadiums, boxing rings, gymnastics, and the works that a youth needs, till then please don't take away Jallikattu, because that's the only sport they have.
If you don't have a football stadium, a boxing ring, or a gymnastics area or center in your area, that means you can abuse animals.
So fucking funny.
There are loads of
God,
communities
the
all
one.
around the world that don't have access to any of those things, and they still don't abuse animals. You fucking clown. I've seen
Oh, man, I went in hard on that bit.
kids playing cricket with sticks and rocks. I've seen people doing street workouts with nothing but the street. Humans are incredibly creative. We don't need to abuse animals for entertainment.
It's hilarious, isn't it? Imagine that as an excuse. Hey, if we don't let people chase cows in the street and put bloody chili in their anuses and then put it in their eyes and then stab them and sticks and hit them, they're going to have no sports to do. What are they going to do? Oh my God. Like what, they can't run without chasing a cow, right? They can't chase each other. There's just, tag. Tag is a sport. There's literal professional tag on YouTube. You can go check it out. It looks awesome. I mean, there's just really not, it's fucking insane that he said that. I still can't believe he said it. That's hilarious. I need to make a couple of shorts from this, I think, because they're just so ludicrous. I just can't even get my head around how ridiculous it is.
Do you at least support the most stringent of action against people who behave in the manner which leaves animals injured and dead? What happens usually is that in practice, the police turn a blind eye because, again, the whole tradition argument is thrown at them. Animals get tortured, and the police let these people go. Make an example out of these people at least.
No, it is very simple. If we empower the local panchayats or the district administration to make sure that certain norms are set, the traditional norms, you don't have to set new norms because the traditional norms are concerned about the bull.
He will never say those Jallikattu animal abusers should be hit with the law because he knows he will lose his support. That's what's most important for Sadhguru, not the animal abuse.
Yeah, it's crazy. He had the opportunity to say at that moment, these people who do this to animals, they're bad. They should definitely be punished by law for breaking the rules and the laws in place, blah, blah, blah. He had the opportunity there to be to actually come up through with a little bit of sensibility. But instead, he just carries on waffling and he won't condemn them. He will not say it because he doesn't want to lose that support and that money.
It's the court which has found merit in the argument that there is mistreatment, ill treatment of animals, ill treatment to the extent that a ban was imposed.
The rights activists, the activists are experts in doing court battles. Farmers are not experts in doing court battles. That's all the difference is.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? It's got nothing to do with all of the video evidence that Peter put forward. It's just because these activists were just better in court. That's the only reason that they got any progress with this, right? Absolute fucking clown.
Yep. Crazy, isn't it? Like he's faced with video evidence, video footage of what happens, and then he's saying, oh, yeah, what's better? Well, it's just because they're better in court. That's the only reason. Well, no, it's because they've got videos of people doing this stuff to cows. Oh, yeah, but it's just they're better at politics. No. Here's the video of what the people that you're defending were doing to cows. Well, yeah, well, they're very good in court, aren't they, these people? They're very good at politics. Idiot.
These are Western values just being superimposed upon
What'd I
us. These
tell
are
you?
transplanted ideas.
Not abusing animals isn't a Western value. It's the value of someone who's not a piece of shit. How low do you think of the Indian people? How can you possibly say that Indian people shouldn't or wouldn't care or do something about animal abuse? Talk about undermining your own people here. You must really think very little of the Indian people to say that.
See, and that ties in with what we said earlier as well about how I'd said that he can't be seen to agree with PETA or any animal rights people because it's like a Western conspiracy to people there. They've got it in their heads that PETA's some Western conspiracy. This is footage from PETA. So he cannot agree with it because then they'll turn on him and then he loses his supporters and his money, more importantly.
NGOs like PETA who are campaigning against Jallikattu, do you think that this is part of some larger plan, some larger design?
I don't think it's such a large plan, but definitely you have to examine where the funding comes from. What is right? See, for example, in when this festival that happened in China where Chinese people are eating dogs.
Another one of Sadhguru's laughter moments when faced with animal abuse, because, you know, animal abuse is hilarious after all.
American activists are going and protesting in China that you should not eat dogs, we love dogs. Okay, we love cows, will you stop eating cows? So every culture has its own intricacies. You have to respect that for what it is. If there is active cruelty happening to the animals, definitely it must stop.
Did you catch that contradiction at the end?
So every culture has its own intricacies. You have to respect that for what it is. If there is active cruelty happening to the animals, definitely it must stop.
The culture of the USA is cruel to animals. The culture of India is cruel to animals. The culture of China is cruel to animals. The culture of every single country on the planet is cruel to animals. So should we stop it or not? There are people all over the world who are against all animal abuse. This isn't a battle between the West and India. It is an issue of the people against animal abuse versus the animal abusers. You're only trying to make it like this so that you'll get support from the nationalist Indians and Indians who don't want to feel like they're being pressured by the West.
Okay, since
Yep, that's what he's a master of doing that. He's been very masterful at taking concepts like this and turning them because the people don't want to change, and he can gain more support by appealing to the not wanting to change by saying this is a Western ideal, these Western PETA, Western ideals, animal rights, Westerners, yeah, we'll do our Jallikattu because it's our Indian culture, thousands of years old. He gains literally millions and millions of Indians supporting him for doing that. When, yeah, as we know, the reality is being kind to animals is no more a Western thing than it is an Indian thing. It's a good person thing, right?
you brought up this entire, the Chinese dog eating festival, that analogy, just taking it forward, a lot of people have also pointed out the hypocrisy about how on the one hand there are voices against slaughter of the Govansh, and on the other, this sport, which does involve cruelty to members of that Govansh, is supported. How do you reconcile that, Sadhguru?
I'm telling you, there is no cruelty large scale. I'm telling you.
Translation, stop questioning me.
I'm telling you.
So the abuse isn't happening on a large scale. Abuse is okay as long as it's happening on a small scale so the sport can continue. Is that the logic here, Sadhguru? And anyway, the interviewer repeated multiple times that this abuse is not small scale and that it is happening on a large scale. But he completely ignored it. If you're someone who cares about the animals and isn't selfish like Sadhguru, you should really go vegan so that you can really help these animals. You can click the link in the pin.
So that's it, guys. That is by far, I think, his worst performance, or the worst performance I've seen from him for sure. It was just full of dodging, inconsistency. It was mocking, laughing about these animals, what was happening to these animals, just absolute sickness. And anyone who's here as a Sadhguru supporter, well, obviously, you know what you've just seen what everyone's seen. So I would hope that you get a better idea of the nonsense that this guy comes out with. And regarding the debate, yeah, so far nothing, guys. So far, this guy's still not emailed me. He's still not popped up into the. I've got the Google Meet open where he was supposed to come. Still isn't there. Don't know what to tell you. Disappointing. He emailed me over a week ago, and he was like, yeah, we're going to do this. And I emailed him back and I said, hey, like, what do you want to debate exactly? And he said, oh, it was something like, I don't want to go back and forth on email. I think it's best that you just have me on. Yeah, okay. So, come to he says, I can come on Sunday. I said, yeah, sure. Come Sunday then. Cool. Okay, Sunday at this time. Yeah, this time. We both agreed the time. Emailed him again yesterday. Didn't get an answer. So emailed him this morning. He responded straight away this morning. Like, yep, all good. Got it. Okay. And then nothing. I wonder if there's like a way to just call him. Because I've got his email. Maybe we could find him by email. You know, thanks, Vegan Stitch. Says, not related to current video. Thoughts, non-vegans at Vegan Campout. Jodie Marsh having a petting zoo where she breeds more animals, and Romesh saying buying dogs is okay. Organizer says it doesn't matter because people breed too. Very confused. Thank you. Hold up. So I don't know anything about Jodie Marsh. I didn't even know she was at the Campout, to be honest with you. And she has a petting zoo where she breeds animals. I can't speak to that. If that's true, then that's not, obviously it's not great. But I don't know anything about that, so I couldn't really give you any information. As for Romesh, so Romesh, he did a bit, didn't he? He did a comedy bit about how he went to get a rescue dog, and then he couldn't get a rescue dog that was good with kids, so he went and bought a dog instead. And I think with Romesh, I don't think he, if it was true, right? If it wasn't just a comedy bit, if it was true, I didn't get the impression that he really thought it over. The thing is, right? If I know vegans who've bought animals as vegans, and they only realized that buying an animal wasn't a good thing after a vegan told them. Do you understand? So, like if a vegan, they do it like, oh, I bought this dog, and all the vegans like, hey, that's not cool. Do you know breeding dogs? Do you know how they do this? Do you know how bad this is? And they say, oh shit, I didn't realize that. So I think with Romesh, I don't think he's had that conversation. I don't think he particularly surrounds himself with vegans. I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt. And we can't assume, you know. So with him, I'm not sure. I would say I'm not sure that it's fair to really go after him for that. We know that it's not a good thing. We know that it's unethical, but maybe he doesn't. And it's like, for example, when you see someone who did something, like a vegan who did something not vegan, and you say, hey, that's actually pretty bad, you know, that hurts animals. It's not like they're not vegan anymore because they made that mistake and didn't realize, you know. You've got to give them, we got to help each other out. So I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt on that, and not make assumptions. So that's where I'm at with that. As for Jodie Marsh, I don't know. But with buying dogs, I think a lot of people just don't think about it or don't think it's bad because they're like, oh, it's like a private breeder. They seem nice. The whole place seems like, they don't think about the philosophical kind of, you know, the ethical things behind that. Like, wait a minute, this is like buying and selling animals, like breeding and selling animals. It's like, it's basically the meat industry, but without killing the animal, that you're selling them alive, right? I mean, people don't make that click. We do. It's obvious to us, isn't it? But it's not to others. So, yeah. But thank you for the tip. Yeah. If anyone's in the chat who is a Sadhguru supporter that thinks they could come in and wants to come in and talk about this or defend Sadhguru, then you can say in the chat and he can set it up, because this guy doesn't seem like he's coming. But I would happily, if somebody else wants to come in and defend Sadhguru, I'm happy to have you in here. I'm happy to have you on, but it doesn't look like this guy's coming. Hey, where was I? Oh yeah, I was gonna have a look and see if we can find something out. Maybe because I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt, and that maybe there's been a time mix-up of some sort. So maybe there's other ways we can contact this guy if I get his email address and look for him on Facebook or something. Just try and call him. I don't know. You know what I mean? Okay, he's not. His email's not on Facebook, and his email is not on Twitter. I'm not showing you his email for obvious reasons, guys. I'm not a big meanie. I've searched his email in general, and it's not coming up anywhere. So yeah, that's not helpful to us. Damn. What a disappointment, hey? I Googled his email, Mark. It didn't come up. Nothing came up. Yeah, so... Yeah, I don't know, guys. It doesn't look like he's going to show. I've given it... We're like an hour late right now, so... And this is just, look, we're going to chalk this up to, yet again, just another example of... okay, I'm acknowledging now that something could have happened, some kind of emergency. Hope he's not ill or anything wrong and stuff like that. Right, fine. That's out of the way, okay? I'm not wishing that on him at all, and I wish him the best. I hope he's good and everything. But it does seem like it's yet another case of one of these Sadhguru bacts kicking off, being the big man behind the emails and in the comments section, and then bitching out on an actual conversation where they have to defend the spirit daddy, which it just happens over and over again. Let me read the email out to you. Let me read the email this guy sent to me. Because you saw the screenshot, but here's the full email. Hello, David. I have mailed you just because you invited someone for a debate on Sadhguru's understanding of life. I openly challenge you for a debate since you're a Western man with a superiority complex mindset who thinks that he has a... I learned how to pronounce this word today, by the way. I know what the word means. I've never heard people say it, and I've never said it. So, hegemony. I don't fucking know. It's so funny. Like, I'm English, and I know the meanings of most English words, right? Including ones that are lesser known, like this one. But when this one came up, I was like, oh, yeah, I know what that means. I was like, but how do I say it? Hegemony of intellectualism. That's what I think I've got the hegemony of intellectualism. And I want to debunk that myth of yours, since I'm an Indian and I understood that you don't even have an iota of knowledge when it comes to analyzing something on the basis of experience. Now, if you accept this challenge, then let me know. I responded saying, what do you want to talk about? He said, it's about your views towards Sadhguru. I said, which opinion, though, about Sadhguru? Like, can you be more specific? He said, trading with emails will result in a waste of time and confusion. Better we have a short debate on the upcoming Sunday, and we can discuss this. And a lot of your conclusions don't fit the logic of the masses. That's why I want to have this debate. So I said, yeah, 12 p.m. GMT. He said, yeah. And that was the end of that. And then I said, can you come 10 minutes early? He said, yeah. And then he didn't come. Now, I've been double checking a lot to make sure GMT is really GMT, because it could be my fault too. And no, I definitely got it right. Right now it's 12:52 GMT. So, yeah. Because, I've made those mistakes too. But when it's a debate on the line, when it's like, oh, something really important like live, I always try to double, triple check and make sure I get the times right, because I'm in Turkey and time zones are all, usually people are in America or Europe, and I never get anybody in Turkey, who to talk to online. So yeah, and that's it, guys. That's where we're up to. So big talk, like fighting words, there was definitely xenophobia in there, hints of racism, which is not something that it's something I expect from the Sadhguru crowd, the Sadhguru follower crowd. They tend to be quite racist, quite xenophobic towards the West. I've got a whole video about that, actually. If you want to see that, I got a video just absolutely packed with nastiness. I'll show you like the haters, the Sadhguru haters one. It's like, yeah, it's you guys can check it out. Maybe we'll react to it if you want to, but basically it's this one here. The Sadhguru sent haters to my channel, please help. And they were nasty. Some of those comments were nasty, like, genuinely nasty comments, So this guy coming along and getting all xenophobic, and it wasn't a shocker to me that he was doing that, and I didn't get offended by it. I just really, really was excited to have him come on and just to repeat his email back to him and be like, okay, go ahead then, dude. Let's talk about it. Like, what have I done that makes you say that, right? Let's get into it. What's the point? What you saying here? Veganix says you will never get someone to debate this topic on this topic. Yeah, I it seems like it, doesn't it? It seemed like it. Unfortunately. I guess there's a tiny chance he'll appear in 7 minutes. Yeah, Mark. I mean, that's also a possibility that he's got the times wrong, and I mean, it could be that could be the thing as well, or it could be that my Google gave me the wrong time. But I can double check somewhere else as well to double check the 12 p.m. 3 p.m. No. Even on like worldtimebuddy.com, it says, because sometimes I guess Google could get it wrong, but even, you know, a second website even has it right. So the guy's not coming. Oh man, what a disappointment, you know. What a disappointment. You know, I could have been doing so many other things during this last hour. We've had fun though. We laughed at Sadhguru for a little bit. That was fun. You know, it's always good. And you know, I don't want to get into too much about Sadhguru. I've got a lot of points that I want to make in this debate. But I mean, I guess if he's not coming, he's not coming. Maybe we can just go through these points, you know. But we are, I mean, I can bring these up. Did you not, aside from veganism and then the animal rights, obvious animal rights thing Sadhguru says, do you guys know some of the stuff Sadhguru says, as in outside of just the stuff I've mentioned in my videos? Are you guys aware of the kind of stuff he comes out with? Like put yes if you know the kind of nonsense he says, and put no if you don't. And I'm going to list off a couple of things that this guy says that I prepared for today to get into if it did end up going off towards a different direction, because honestly, it's hilarious. It's actually hilarious, some of the stuff this guy claims. And once we've gone through that a little bit, then we'll decide what to do next. Because I do want to talk about this Humane Hancock video that came out yesterday as well. So I'm thinking about going for that next. And if we do that, if we talk about Humane Hancock, what we'll do is we'll shut down this stream and we'll start a new stream, because I don't want people to get confused between the two streams. You know, this one would have all the stuff about Sadhguru at the beginning, and then it just changes, and that doesn't make any sense. So we'll close this one down and start a new one. Okay, so a couple guys saying no, a couple guys saying yes to the crazy stuff. Yeah, so no. All right, mostly no's though. So, okay, let me read out some of the stuff that Sadhguru said in videos and talks online. Okay, he said that if he looks at water, right, looks at water with certain intentions, it will determine, as in intention meaning if he looks at it in a bad way or looks at it in a good way, that will determine whether the water is good for you or bad for you, for your body. So when he looks at the water and he says, you know, ooh, I want you to be bad, and then someone drinks it, it's going to be bad for their body. He said that. He also said that if a woman gets pregnant and she has twins, one of her breasts will produce male milk and one of her breasts will produce female milk. We don't know which one is which, but we apparently he knows that. Apparently, here's one for you. This one is probably the craziest one he's ever come out with. Actually, it's not. It's the second craziest. He told Joe Rogan that he has communicated with aliens, that he somehow got an alien to enter someone's body and then try to keep the alien in the body. And when Joe Rogan asked him, hey, did you film that? He said, no, people were filming, but they were far away and it was bad quality. Right. Cool. One more. I think we'll go. There's a couple more. Well, this is the craziest one, I think. Aliens is pretty crazy, but this one possibly beats that one. He said that he was able to, he had a fractured ankle and he had asthma, and he healed them both in one go by sitting down and meditating about it. So he had a fractured ankle and he had asthma, and they were both gone after sitting and thinking about it for a couple hours, I think he said. And just a couple more just to throw in there. He believes wearing black clothes to a funeral absorbs negative energy. He believes that Hindus knew about evolution 15,000 years ago, way before Darwin. And he also believes that if there's a lunar eclipse, that you shouldn't eat food because a lunar eclipse ruins food. So this is probably now starting to become apparent as to why this guy doesn't want to come on and debate anymore. It's kind of tough to put your money where your mouth is and defend someone that comes out with stuff like that. There we have it, guys. Listen, we're going to close down the stream, okay? But don't go anywhere. Stick around on YouTube. Be ready. I'm going to be going live again. And we're going to talk about Humane Hancock's new video instead. All right, guys? So I'll be right back. Might take a couple minutes, all right? Just be here on the channel. Yep. In the meantime, for this next couple of minutes, keep calling out that PS for these next few minutes. And I'll catch you very soon in the next video. And thank you for everyone for coming and waiting patiently for this guy. And yeah. What you gonna do, huh? It is what it is. It's what we've got to do. See you in a few minutes.